When you open a body, everybody's got red blood and a 4-chamber heart. There's no difference on the inside, so why are we making a difference on the outside?
Hello!
Hey, Justin!
How's it going?
Life is wonderful. Work today, just getting off work.
How crazy is it right now at the hospital?
You know what? I think we're becoming a little bit more adjusted to the new norm, and that's what we're calling it, where we have family members, we have patients with only one family member, and everybody's tested at the door, even the doctors. We do a temperature check, so we're adjusting to it.
Wow. I saw healthcare workers hit the streets, and it is unbelievable to see, your colleagues get out there, white coat, Black Lives Matters. How did it make you feel to see, people on the front lines protesting with everyone else?
Justin, I was so proud to say that I'm a doctor. To see my sisters and brothers in the white coats stand, take a knee, put a hand up for Black Lives Matter reminded us we're not fighting one disease, but we're fighting two. And we're certainly on the front line fighting for COVID every day. I still see patients in the office diagnosed with COVID-19. So we fight COVID by day. And to see my sisters and brothers standing there fighting for COVID by night, I was so amazed. I mean, it was that, that feeling you get that you see. I was so impacted to see that. And, the one thing we know as physicians, when you open a body, everybody's got red blood and a 4-chamber heart.
Everybody.
So there's no difference on the inside. So why are we making a difference on the outside?
It's so crazy that you say that, and it seems so simple, but why do you think people cannot get it and can't understand it and can't wrap their heads around it?
I think it's so ingrained in people. I mean, you're not born racist.
No.
That's a learned behavior. You learn that along the way or from home or wherever you get that. And I don't think people get it. But I think what has happened now,
yes.
Oh my God. When I saw something that said to George Floyd, rest in power, that he didn't die in vain, that he's made such a big difference that you cannot be anywhere in this world, not even on Mars or Jupiter, and not understand that Black Lives Matter also.
Yeah.
And so I am so excited. My niece goes to the University of Mississippi Medical School where I went to. And I actually had 2 nieces to attend there. And one is finishing medical school now. To see a picture of those Black students standing there with I can't breathe and saying Black Lives Matter, I had tears. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Because I remember my first undergrad there in med tech. There were 7 Black kids, or 7 Black students in 114. And as we do, we all kind of congregated together. Hey, my name is Jackie. And we all went to the front of the class. We took the front row. And the professor came in, he looked around and he said, if there's somebody in this room who can't see well or can't hear well or see, come to the front. One of these guys don't mind getting up. And you're like, what? And that was 25, 30 years ago. And to see them stand in solidarity and say, Black Lives Matter, my heart, oh my goodness. I am so excited that it has even spread it into me. I'm from Mississippi. So I'm like, it is hitting the SIP now, okay?
Which is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Oh, my God.
It's so funny because I think a lot of times Americans like to say out of sight, out of mind. It didn't happen here, so it ain't never going to happen here. You live in Atlanta where Rayshard Brooks was gunned down at a Wendy's. What's it feel like having something that monumental happen in your own backyard?
I was in total disbelief. I could not believe this was happening again, especially right here in Atlanta, where we've done so much protesting to say, okay, Black Lives Matter also. To see that happen and to think, in medicine, we always think there's no one way to do it.
Yes.
There are multiple ways to do it. And to see that happen, like, okay, could we have done this? And I don't know how police are trained.
Yeah.
But in medicine, we're trained, if we're thrown a curve, you got to be ready to go over here. You got to save a patient, We don't have one way to save a patient. And so to see that happening right here in Atlanta, I was appalled.
Because, everybody says it's safe for Black people. There's Black people in Atlanta. There's Black governors. There's Black mayors. Atlanta's the Black people. It was shocking to see this happen in Atlanta.
Total disbelief. And I don't know whether police do it, but we would get together and we have M&M rounds and we talk about how you could do something better, how you could do something different, especially if there's a life. And so that I'm thinking, we just watched George Floyd die. And I thought every police department in this world would say, there's a better way to do it. Do it this way, but save a life.
Yeah. Somebody put in the comments, if you're not shocked, you're not woke. I agree with that. Because if this does not shock you, if this does not make you stand up or the hairs behind your neck stand at attention, there is something wrong.
Absolutely. And there's a lot wrong. We know that now. What is so shocking to me, though, is to have colleagues and friends who didn't know. Who's saying, I didn't know all this was happening. And you're thinking, where have you been?
But now you cannot under the guys that you didn't know. Just like when the women's movement happened and Me Too happened, after that, you're not making an off-color comment to a woman at work. You're not putting your hand where it's not supposed to go to a woman at work. You're not, advancing on someone at work because you think that you have the right to, because after the Me Too, we're not having that. So after 2020, you can no longer say,
So let me shout out this generation, though. Oh, my God. We've been saying like, oh, millennials, oh, Gen X, what are they? Honey, oh, my God. They're not us. And you've seen the thing. We are not our ancestors. And they can certainly say we are not our mamas. We are not our aunts. Oh, my God. And they, you know what? They take me back to the Martin Luther King era. Like, we're going to die for right. If it takes, we're going to stand for right. We're going to do whatever we need to do. We're going to get your attention because this is wrong. And we're not going to accept it anymore.
100%. I'm going to apologize to Gen X because all they do is play on their goddamn phones and they want to start startups and they do X, Y, and Z. I went to the most organized and most peaceful protest the other day. And when I asked to speak to the owner, it was a 26-year-old white girl. And I was like, first of all, hands down to you and your friends. There are hand sanitizing stations back there. Kudos. But the fact that we really believe that the next generation that comes after them won't have an opportunity to even think about racism because they're changing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so excited. And I'm like you. I owe them an apology. So for every person I've said, what are you going to do? They're going to mess up our future. No. We can never say that again.
They are coming through. I'm so happy to have you here because a lot of times we talk about early voting and getting polls. And there are a lot of people who are nervous to get to the polls because of coronavirus. Can you...
Now, and that's a good...
on how people can ease their minds or how are ways to avoid getting the virus while going to the voting booth?
Let's talk about one thing, Justin. COVID is still here.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people are walking around like, oh, it was the pandemic and it's gone. It is not. The numbers are actually increasing instead of decreasing in a lot of states. So let's start with the fact that COVID-19 is still here. And to vote, I'm encouraging, you need to ignite the change we need to see with your votes. So don't let anything scare you about voting. Do what we're doing. Wear your mask. Go into those voting polls wearing your mask. And if you're really nervous about it, put some gloves on. Yeah. You know, take your gloves. Take a couple of extra bottles of hand sanitizer. So if you have to stand in the line 5 hours like we had to do in Atlanta, you know, yeah. Well, I didn't have to do it, thank God, because I got off work and eased in when everybody was done. But there were people here who stood in line all day long. If it takes standing in line all day, do that. But social distancing, and they had it paced off 6 feet apart. Wear your mask. Those are the one thing you can do is wear your mask and social distance, but go to the poll. And if you're really, really scared, get an absentee ballot.
If you're waiting in the line for an hour to get into a club, and you're going to wait for 2 hours to go see Beyonce, and you're going to stand on your feet for 9 hours to go to Coachella, your ass can get your ass to the polling booth.
Look, if you're going to sit in a hair salon for 2 hours.
A walk.
Yes. You stand in there and get your nails done. There are so many reasons we need to get out and vote right now that we don't need to let COVID-19. And I tell my Gen X and millennial employees, I noticed you were on a yacht on a boat without a mask. So no reason not to go vote.
And by the way, when you go vote, you get off of work. You ain't got no ifs, ands, or buts.
Absolutely. I mean, please don't let COVID-19 stop you from voting.